If you've checked out our Getting Started with Crops video, you'll know how to begin configuring your Farmbrite crop system to get your plants in the ground. You've probably created grow locations already, defined your crop types, planted them, and checked out the crop plan for your season. Now it's time to learn more about working with the crops throughout the season. In this video, we're going to take a look at the day-to-day operations of your plantings and grow locations. We'll apply treatments, record soil samples, and create tasks and events to remind you of what needs to be done. We'll examine how you record accounting expenses to generate a profit and loss statement for your individual plantings, crop types, and grow locations, and how you'll keep files and photos associated with them as well. And when they're ready, we'll also learn how to harvest the crops and add them to your inventory. Keep in mind that you'll find more in-depth instructions and step-by-step guides for these processes in our Help Center. We encourage you to watch this video to get an overview and then reference these articles as you work in the system. Let's navigate to plantings on the left and then select grow locations. We see a list of all of the grow locations we've previously created and can easily see what is currently planted in each with the icons that are displayed. Be aware that the features we will see in this video apply to any of these, whether you're growing perennial fruit trees in an orchard, or pasture grass as a cover crop for grazing and harvesting hay, or even flowers or herbs in hydroponic tables in a greenhouse. We're going to use Southeast Field A as our example, and we'll immediately see our bed layout and plantings. We've planted a market garden in this field, with varying start dates and days to maturity. We've planted some for succession plantings like this spinach, and others for large harvests at the end of the season like our tomatoes and peppers. Notice all of the additional options shown in the left-hand menu for this field. We can record treatments, take nutrient samples, view our scheduled events and tasks, jot down quick notes, and add accounting transactions. Since these are all at the grow location level, our Southeast Field A, these should be used to track things that apply to all of the plantings we just saw. We will see later in this video how you do many of these same actions on a per planting basis, but for now, let's take a look at how you can track the progress of this field with these features. First, let's take a look at recording treatments. We'll create a new one and see that you can use the treatment to record things like applying herbicides or pesticides and treating mildew, mites, mold, and a lot more. You can add details about the product that was used and add how much was used in the treatment. If you track the product that was used in your Farmbrite inventory, you can easily subtract from the amount that you have on hand. We'll choose how and where we applied this treatment, and then optionally choose a retreat date. We might want to reapply this insecticide 2 weeks later. Farmbrite will automatically create a task for it on that date. You can also optionally include a cost for the treatment if it costs you anything above the inventory usage that we just recorded. For example, if we had a technician come to spray that insecticide, we might associate a cost for their services here as well. And we can choose to record that cost as an expense associated with this crop. We can write a quick description and optionally add a keyword and then save. And once you have some treatments recorded for this field, you might use the filter to find just specific ones that you're looking for, perhaps applied within a certain date range, one that used a particular product, or treatments applied by specific farmhands. The Nutrients tab is a similar concept, in that you'll be adding a soil amendment to the field and tracking what was applied. You can also record soil samples here, and those samples are displayed in the charts on this page. We'll add nutrients, and then record details about what was applied. Common elements and minerals are listed below, and you'll record the ppm amount that was added. We'll save, and see our record created. You could always go back and edit this if you needed to. We'll fast forward a couple days and record a soil sample. You'll see this is very similar. We'll record the ppm of each of these nutrients, and then save again. Our sample is recorded and then added to the charts. These can help you see changes over time and draw a correlation between the amendments and results. The next 3 sections are all related. You can schedule calendar events, create tasks, and take notes for this grow location. The connection here is that they all help you remember to do things and keep track of important information. The schedule is a calendar for this particular location. It will show you tasks and events associated with it. As an example, check out the planting tasks that were automatically created for our pepper plantings, and the task that was automatically created to retreat this field with the pesticide from the treatment that we saw earlier in this video. You can add a new event or task here as well, or you can click on the calendar to choose a specific time. Since we're creating this event directly from the grow location, it will automatically be associated here. You can also choose if this event repeats. We could select that this event happens monthly and have it repeat every month until the end of our season. We'll create the event and see it added here, and then fast forward a few weeks and see it repeat. This repeating feature can be very helpful for you to remember to weed fields, apply fertilizers, or scout your locations. Tasks are very similar and will show up on your schedule if they have a due date defined. We can also see a specific task list, showing us things like starting seeds, treating fields, and harvesting. Tasks also have some additional features that can help you track the progress of what needs to be accomplished for this location. You'll give the task a name, and then add a status. You can assign it to one of your farm hands, and communicate its importance with a priority. You can also set a due date and time, and like the events, choose if it repeats. We can write a quick description, and if the task has multiple steps or prerequisites, you can also create a checklist of subtasks. These subtasks can be individually assigned to your farm hands, and anyone who is assigned here or has the main responsibility for the task can also get notifications about these tasks in a daily summary email. You can even map exactly where the task needs to be completed and add attachments to help get it done. Once added, you can also easily see these field-specific tasks and events on your main Farmbrite task list and schedule. Next, if you just need to jot down a quick note about this field, you can write it, categorize it, and then optionally assign it as a task. We can publish it to the schedule, and then add locations or attachments like we saw with the tasks. This task connection helps you make sure that you action the results from your scouting. You can record your findings and then be sure to follow up. Next, let's take a look at the Accounting tab. This is where you can record your expenses and income for this field. When you record a transaction, notice that it is already associated with this grow location because we're adding it from this page. We'll choose if this transaction is an expense or income, supply an amount, and then add information about who we paid or who the customer was. We can then categorize it, or if necessary, split that transaction into multiple categories. Of course, things that we've already seen apply here as well. You can add keywords, a description, or an attachment, perhaps a receipt, and then add the transaction. This tab totals your expenses and income, and then provides a net profit amount. You can also run a profit and loss statement for just this grow location here as well. We encourage you to read through the accounting section of the Help Center before adding any transactions, as you may want to customize a chart of accounts to make your own unique accounting categories before you start recording expenses and income. And of course, you have a full accounting section in the left-hand menu that encompasses the financials for all of your fields, livestock, equipment, and a lot more. These transactions are specific to just this grow location. The last two sections that you'll see here are how you can store photos and documents that relate to this location. Perhaps you've taken a photo of some damage or issues you'd like to have a record of. You saw we had created a task earlier for some bug scouting. One of the subtasks was to upload pictures of anything we found. Or maybe you have something like a organic certification or a survey document that you'd like to store. You can upload PDFs, spreadsheets, and other file types here. Now that you have seen the actions that you can work with on a field, let's go back to the Plantings tab and select one of the individual plantings of our peppers. We're now presented with details about this specific planting. The secondary menu on the left gives us many of the same options we had just learned about, but these are now specific to this planting and not the field overall. Maybe we need to treat or take a soil sample just from one of the beds. Or maybe add a specific expense that these peppers incurred that wasn't applicable to the other market garden crops in the other beds. There is one more selection that you'll see here though, harvests. After you've used all the features that we've just seen to track the growth of your crop, we can then harvest them. Since the amount harvested is always associated with a particular crop and planting for traceability, you'll record harvest from here. You can supply the amount harvested and optionally add a batch number or trace number. Both of these help you track where this harvest came from after you add it to inventory. Farmbrite will automatically generate a trace number if you don't supply one. You can grade the harvest and estimate the revenue as well. This amount is pre-populated from the crop type details that you added when creating the crop type. You can save the harvest or add it to inventory right at this time as well. If you want to learn more about that feature and how you can trace it from the harvest all the way through the sale, check out our other video for traceability in our Help Center. Before you move on to that though, let's just see a few more features in this crop section. You should know that you can also work with a lot of the features that we just saw under the My Crops section as well. This section houses your crop types and gives you a comprehensive view of all of the plantings of that type across all of your grow locations. We'll choose those peppers again, and now see that we can view all of our current, future, and past plantings. We can also see all the harvests for this crop type, again from all of the plantings in all of our grow locations. You can also take notes or store photos and associate accounting transactions with the crop type overall if that's how you'd prefer to track them. The last section here is the yield comparison. This compares the yield from this variety to others from the same crop type. You can see our hatch green chilies, infernos, jalapenos, serranos, and dragon peppers. The harvests are tracked over the weeks of the season and then charted above. This can help give us insight into how productive this crop was compared to other similar crops. The last thing we'd like to highlight in this video are just a few more ways that you can add some of these records. Be aware that the Quick Add button in the top menu is an easy way to add a treatment, record a harvest, take some notes, add a task, or create accounting transactions. And if you'd like to do those things for multiple plantings at once, we'll go back to our grow location and use the bulk action tool to select multiple plantings and then add notes, treatments, nutrients, and harvests. You should now have a better understanding of how you can manage your crops. Please reach out to us with any questions. We're always glad to help out.